I used to send my mom $5,000 every single month, no questions asked. But during my brother's wedding, she and my sister stole $19,000 from my account. When I confronted them, my mom's reaction wasn't guilt. It was rage. "Are you accusing us of stealing?" she yelled, before slapping me so hard my head hit the wall. I warned them that they had crossed a line. Then my husband walked in, and she went pale. Part 1. I'm Olivia, 34. I work as a financial director at a tech firm. On the outside, people assume I've got everything figured out: a high-paying job, no children, and a lifestyle that allows for travel and investments. What they don't see is how often I've been the financial backbone of my family, the fixer, the bank. But nothing could have prepared me for how that role would be twisted into betrayal. My younger brother Liam was getting married. It was a beautiful beach ceremony, waves crashing, lights strung across palm trees, and guests barefoot in the sand. It was perfect, and most of it was paid for by me. Liam and his fiancée had just cleared their student debt. My parents were retired, so I stepped in. Venue, flowers, catering, photos, all on me. No one acknowledged it. I told myself that was okay. It was family after all. My boyfriend Ryan came with me. We've been together 2 years. He knows how much I give to the people around me, and how rarely I get anything back. But he never tried to interfere. He let me reach my own conclusions. After the wedding, I stood by the ocean, sandals in hand. Liam hugged me and whispered, "Thanks, Liv, you saved the day." I smiled, but deep down, I felt hollow. It wasn't the lack of gratitude. It was the feeling of being invisible. That night, Ryan and I crashed in our hotel, exhausted, but happy. I had no idea that while I slept, everything was about to fall apart. The next morning, while checking out, I casually opened my banking app. My heart dropped. My checking balance had been wiped, $19,000 gone. Just gone. I froze. Ryan asked what was wrong. I could barely speak. $19,000. Missing, I whispered. He grabbed my phone, opened the history. 3 transfers, he said. All made last night at the same time. $6,000 to Jenna Collins, $7,000 to Scott Collins, $6,000 to Marsha Green. My stomach dropped. That's when I was in the shower. Ryan's face changed. "You didn't send these, right?" "Of course not." "Then someone had your phone, and your password." I felt lightheaded as the truth settled in. Someone close to me had done this. I already knew who. Right then, my phone rang. It was my mom. I answered carefully. "Mom, I need to ask you something. There were 3 transfers made from my account last night, to you, Jenna, and Scott. Do you know anything about that?" She paused, then laughed. "Oh, I figured you'd notice eventually. Honestly, I expected you'd say something sooner." "What do you mean?" "Jenna thought it was silly to just let that money sit in your account, so we split it. It's Liam's wedding. Think of it as a gift." I couldn't breathe. "You took my phone while I was in the shower, didn't you?" "Oh, don't be so dramatic. You don't have kids. You're doing well. You should help out. That's what family is for." Ryan stepped in and took the phone. "Ma'am," he said firmly, "what you just described is theft, a criminal act." She snapped back. "Oh, what are you now? A lawyer?" I took the phone again, barely holding my voice together. "Mom, who actually made those transfers?" "Jenna," she said casually. "She guessed your password. Wasn't hard. It's that old cat's name, right?" And then she hung up. I just stood there, shaking. The woman who raised me had laughed while stealing from me. It wasn't just a betrayal. It was deliberate, unapologetic theft. Ryan took my hand. "We're not letting this go," he said. And neither was I. I told him we were going to see them in person. I needed to look them in the eye when I asked them why. He didn't argue. He just drove. Part 2. The drive back through the suburbs felt like a dream, but the kind where you can't wake up. The sun was shining, birds chirped in the trees, and the same soft blue sky from the wedding stretched above us. But inside, I was hollow, like someone had scooped me out and left the shell behind. Before we could even knock, the door swung open. Jenna stood there in yoga pants and a loose tank top, cradling a mug of coffee like it was just another peaceful morning. "Oh, hey, Liv," she said with a smirk, like I had just arrived early for brunch. I didn't respond. I walked straight past her. Inside, my mother, Marsha, was on the couch flipping through Liam's wedding album. Scott, Jenna's husband, sat nearby with his feet propped up, sipping espresso like nothing was wrong. "We need to talk," I said, planting myself in the center of the room. Marsha looked up with a calm, collected expression. "Is this about the money?" "Yes," I said, voice sharp. "I want to know who gave you the right to take $19,000 from my account without permission." Jenna flopped onto the couch, unbothered. "You should have picked a better password," she said, laughing. "Mr. Whiskers? Seriously?" Scott chuckled. I told her not to, but she said you wouldn't mind. I could feel the heat rise in my chest. You thought I wouldn't mind that you drained my account while I was in the shower. You didn't ask. You didn't even warn me. You just stole. Marcia closed the photo album slowly and stood. Olivia, don't make this a bigger deal than it needs to be. It was for Liam's wedding. You're single, you earn well, and Liam's starting his life. Families support each other. No, I said through gritted teeth. Support means I agree. What you did was theft. Jenna rolled her eyes. You act generous, but you're always holding back. We're sick of begging. Scott added, you've still got money left. It's not like we drained you dry. And that's when I snapped. My voice dropped to a cold, even tone. You didn't just steal my money, you stole my trust. The room went silent. Then Marcia's face twisted with anger. How dare you talk to me like that? She yelled. Before I could move, she slapped me across the face. The sound cracked through the air. Ryan was on his feet immediately. He grabbed my arm and stepped in front of me. That's enough, he said, voice low and dangerous. Touch her again and I swear the police will be involved. I stood frozen, my cheek burning, heart racing. That slap wasn't just physical. It shattered the last illusion I'd clung to, that maybe this was just a misunderstanding. It wasn't. They knew what they were doing. I looked at all three of them, my voice steady. This isn't just theft anymore, it's assault. Then I turned and walked out. For the first time, I didn't look back. The drive to the hotel was silent. I held Ryan's hand the entire way. My face still throbbed, but that wasn't what hurt the most. What broke me was the sinking truth settling in my chest. This wasn't new. It was a pattern, and I had refused to see it. By the time we landed back in Denver that night, I was more than tired. I was drained in a way that no amount of rest could fix. I didn't unpack. I didn't check my email. I just sat on the couch, staring at the floor, feeling everything and nothing all at once. The next afternoon, I opened my laptop. At first, I told myself it was just curiosity, but really, I needed proof. Proof that this wasn't a one-time mistake, that I hadn't imagined years of being taken advantage of. I pulled up my bank statements. I started highlighting every transaction involving my family, red for Jenna and Scott, blue for Marcia, yellow for Liam, one by one, month by month. The stack of paper on my dining table grew thicker with each hour. Over the past 3 years, I had given them over $42,000. Rent, school fees, birthday gifts, car repairs, hospital visits, emergency travel, Christmas bonuses, even a new roof. Always with the same line. Just this once. But it never was. They knew exactly how to guilt me. You don't have kids. You're doing well. It's not like you need the money. And I believed them. I thought I was being supportive. Kind, a good daughter, a good sister. But I wasn't helping. I was enabling. I remembered the time Jenna sobbed on the phone, claiming Madison had broken her arm and they couldn't pay the bill. I wired $1,500 within an hour during a meeting at work. Later, I learned insurance had covered everything. Jenna used the money to buy Scott a new iPhone. Ryan sat beside me as I highlighted another line. Have you eaten today? He asked. I shook my head. Look at this, I said, my voice cracking. I've been nothing but an ATM. He took one of the pages from me gently. You weren't blind. You were trying to love them. I didn't answer. Then he asked, have you thought about taking action? I hesitated. If a stranger had taken $19,000 from me, I said slowly, I would have called the police. He nodded. So why not now? I stared at the highlighter in my hand. The papers. The facts. Why not, indeed? Part 3. The next morning, I sat at my desk staring at the document I'd titled, The Truth. It wasn't just a spreadsheet. It was a timeline of betrayal. Every dollar I'd given my family over the last 3 years, complete with dates, amounts, screenshots, and even messages. It didn't feel like family history. It read like evidence in a financial crime. Ryan set a cup of tea next to me. You don't have to do this today, he said softly. I do, I replied, without looking up. If I don't stand up for myself now, I never will. He nodded, saying nothing more. I reached out to a former colleague who now worked at a law firm. She connected me with the Colorado Office for Financial Crimes, where I was referred to a woman named Tina Hargrove, a veteran investigator in family-related financial abuse. When I arrived that afternoon, she greeted me with a firm handshake. Early 40s, calm demeanor, sharp glasses, and sharper eyes. Miss Olivia Brooks? She asked. Yes, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. I'd like to report a case of financial exploitation by members of my family. Let's sit, she said, gesturing to her office. It took nearly an hour to explain everything. My brother's wedding, the unauthorized $19,000 transfer, the slap, and the years of unreturned loans, masked as emotional blackmail. Tina listened closely, occasionally asking focused questions. When I was done, she asked, "Do you have documentation?" Ryan opened the folder we'd brought and handed it over. Bank statements, digital transfers, screenshots, even a recorded audio clip from our confrontation at Marcia's house. Tina flipped through everything. Her expression never shifted, but I noticed the way her eyes narrowed as she read. "This isn't rare," she said at last, "but it's rare that someone actually comes forward." I nodded. I thought silence would keep the peace. But it's not peace if I'm the only one bleeding. She nodded back. "We'll open a preliminary investigation. We'll verify the transactions, pull access logs, track the IP addresses behind the transfers, and interview those involved. If we find unauthorized access and intent, the case will be passed to the district attorney." I hesitated. "Will there be arrests?" "That depends," Tina replied. "If intent and exploitation are proven, yes. Either way, there will be consequences." As we stood to leave, Ryan reached for my hand. I realized then I was trembling, but it wasn't fear, it was resolve. I had just declared war, not on strangers, but on my own blood, and yet I felt no regret. It was resolve. I had just declared war, not on strangers, but on my own blood, and yet I felt no regret. But it wasn't fear, it was resolve. I had just declared war, not on strangers, but on my own blood, and yet I felt no regret. We stood to leave. Ryan reached for my hand. I realized then I was trembling, but it wasn't fear, it was resolve. I had just declared war, not on strangers, but on my own blood, and yet I felt no regret. The fallout came fast. The first message hit my phone before sunrise. I was still lying in bed, eyes swollen from a sleepless night. "Marcia, Olivia, what are you doing? Did you seriously report us? Call me now." 10 minutes later, the text poured in like a flood. "Jenna, are you out of your mind? You're trying to send your whole family to jail over a few $1,000s? Scott, unbelievably selfish. You're destroying Madison's life. Do you even care about your niece?" Even Liam sent a couple of messages, his tone uncertain, like he wasn't sure what side to be on. But from Jenna and Scott, it was venom, blame, guilt. Not one word of apology, not 1 ounce of accountability. "Marcia, I raised you, and this is how you repay us? You have no heart." I stared at my phone, numb. All that noise, and not a single sorry. Ryan walked in with 2 mugs of coffee. He saw the barrage on my screen. "Still blaming you, huh?" I nodded. "It almost feels like I'm the one who betrayed them." He sat beside me, took the phone from my hands, and looked me in the eyes. "No, Olivia, you didn't betray them. They betrayed you. They're not angry because you did something wrong. They're angry because, for the first time, you said no." His words hit harder than any slap. I remembered all the times I'd hesitated before sending money, only to be guilted into it. "Your family. You don't even have kids. You're not struggling." It was never just this once, and it was never repaid. That afternoon, my phone rang again. I almost let it go to voicemail. But something inside me knew I had to face it. It was Marcia. Her voice came sharp, angry. "You've humiliated this family, Olivia. What do you think people will say? That you dragged your own blood into court? Shame on you." I closed my eyes, the sting of her hand still fresh in my memory. "Mom," I said quietly, "you took money from my account without permission. You hit me, and now you're acting like I'm the one who crossed the line." "You have more than enough," she snapped. "You don't even have children. That money was nothing to you." I took a breath to steady my voice. "No one has the right to take just because they assume I can afford it. You didn't ask. You stole. And that slap? That was assault." There was a pause. "You're pushing yourself out of this family," she warned coldly. "Don't come crying to me when you end up all alone." My voice didn't waver. Everyone made their choice when they crossed the line. I'm just finally drawing it. The call ended. This time I didn't cry. I didn't doubt. I felt free.